Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 168, February 5th, 2020. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hey, Clyde, how you doing?
I am doing all right. How are you?
Okay, so I'm feeling uneasy.
Why is that?
Yesterday we celebrated a family member's birthday, and we went out to dinner and had a very big dinner. And part of what I ate was steamed broccoli, and so there's that. And then tonight, somebody decided we're going to do Taco Bell, so I'm like uneasy here.
Oh,
So if I mute, there might be a reason.
all right. So I was going to say it's a good thing I was able to make it after all. Otherwise, you'd be doing this alone.
That's true.
But what you're saying is there's a chance I may be doing this alone.
It's possible. If I have to run out of the room for some reason, you cover for me, right?
Absolutely. You got to make a run for the border.
Oh, God.
Make a run from the border.
No. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, we've all been there.
Yeah, well, let's not go back. Anything else going on for you today?
Not really.
Not really?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just kind of interested in seeing what we got to talk about.
Well, we actually have a lot of news this week, and all different kinds. So let's start off with a story here about Google Fiber. Google Fiber has been, as we know, they kind of halted their expansion of their Google Fiber service a while ago, but they still were servicing a lot of different areas with their various services that were available where they put out the fiber for people to hook up to. It is official now. Google Fiber has stopped offering their TV service, and this is not have anything to do with their YouTube TV, but their actual TV over the fiber service that they were offering. They're now officially stopped offering that service to any new customers. Anybody who's still got the service is still able to use it for at least the time being, but it looks like they are now officially pushing people to use YouTube TV as their official
or Fubo.
Or they're also telling you to use Fubo.
Yes.
Nice.
They're saying they're giving the customers a choice to sign up for YouTube TV or the sports oriented Fubo.
Hey, good job, Fubo. Nice job filling that niche perfectly. That's excellent.
Yeah. And you know, when I first read this article, I was not that I was angry, but I was kind of irritated because when they were rolling this out, Google gave everybody the option, hey, if you buy in for $3,000 right now, that will get it installed, and then you will have TV basically for life, the basic package for life. But now I see that they've stopped offering traditional TV services to new customers. So they have a obligation to continue supporting the people that were previously bought in.
Right. So this is what they're doing. They're giving them either YouTube TV or Fubo.
Well, no, this is for new people. For new people that are signing up. Google TV is not an option anymore. They're giving you the option to sign up for YouTube TV or Fubo.
Are they going to continue?
Good to Google for continuing to support the people that you promised to support. So, yeah.
Well, The Google Fiber was a way to push the internet speeds across the United
It was
States to make it go
disruption.
faster.
Yeah.
It was a disruption tactic, and arguably it worked
Hmm.
because now I have gigabit. So
Yeah. And that was
that's
the thing.
awesome.
Nobody wanted to offer it because the excuse was
Nobody needs
nobody
gig.
wants it.
Nobody
Nobody
needs it.
needs it.
Nobody
They may
wants
think
that.
they want it, but
What?
they don't.
What?
And then
What's,
so Google
so
said, okay, yeah,
so in 5 to 10 years, Google Fiber reemerges as 10 gigabit fiber to the home.
hopefully,
That would be great.
hopefully not 5 to 10 years. Hopefully soon.
That would be nice, but we'll see if speeds are crank up slowly or not over the next
Yeah.
few years.
I mean,
That's fine.
honestly, that that's kind of absurd.
In
And
10 years,
no.
no.
I'm saying people needing that. And yes, I use the word need because it doesn't matter. People that know my philosophy, it's not about what I need, it's about what I want. But
Yeah, we know.
I don't even I don't even see uh, why I would want to purchase 10 gig when like a good 50 megs is usually more than I need. And
Yeah, that being
I am a very very heavy user.
okay. I can understand the argument of what is a gigabit service and what is a good 50 megabit service. I can understand that argument because I know what both of those are.
Mhm.
But also, dude, how much bandwidth do you use uploading this video every time? I mean, you actually use
It's only like
this.
the video's only like 2 to 3 gigs, if that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that actually uploading it, or you're talking about to push the stream out to the internet
yeah,
because
yeah.
moving it from Twitch to YouTube, that's all in the back end. I just
Right.
push a button and they deal with their CDNs. Um,
Uh,
but I mean, yes, if I when I look at my network, uh, it's pretty slow. And then like Wednesday night, there's a huge spike. But again,
hmm.
previously I was on 50 meg service
Yep.
when I was with Comcast, and I had no, or when I was Comcast Business, and I had no issues.
Right.
And that's also what different because that's using the upload, not the download. So as long as you've got like up to 20 megs up, most people are going to be good. And this is the network engineer in me talking, not the ooh, I like shiny things, gimme, gimme, gimme side,
Right.
But I'm not saying that no, it shouldn't be available. I'm just saying I don't. I think gigabit. Once you get past gigabit, the average user, I don't really see the point personally.
VR, in the future VR, the speeds are going to need to
8K
go up.
streaming.
8K streaming in VR, multiple
Oh, like the
users.
flight simulator thing that I got to do in Vegas.
Yeah.
It was an 8K headset.
Yeah, it's going to be 8K VR, where you sit down in the room and do your work with your workmates and have your virtual meetings. Then we're going to need our 10 gig
Yeah,
internet, right?
sure.
It's going to happen eventually. It's going to be great. Hey, so we discussed earlier this year about at CES that LG has been working at first to add AirPlay and HomeKit to their newer TVs. We also reported recently that they said they would actually bring the full Apple TV app to those TVs, and it looks like now it is beginning to come up to the most recent models. If you have one of the new
Mm-hmm.
NanoCell LCD TVs from 2019, you should start seeing the new app appear inside the interface. It's the UM7X and the UM6X series, it looks like. We'll be getting it later this month as well. And also, there's a note here that they will be able to push this all the way back to the 2018 TVs. Does that mean Jimmy might get this?
That's what I was gonna say. For what he paid for that OLED, I I seriously hope he gets it.
Yeah, especially
Being
him.
that
He
he's the Apple guy in our group, and the only one with the big OLED, and he's the one that can't get Apple TV on his
Well,
big, shiny, fancy OLED.
but of course, the other side of this coin is that that means that he spent money on an Apple TV that he won't have had to anymore for that TV. Although I suppose he could just move it to another TV in the house, which I'm sure he has another one somewhere.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's got another TV in the house. He doesn't. It doesn't seem like a one TV household to me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know how many TVs you have in your house, but more than one is what I got to say.
I have at least 2 on any given day.
As I'm sitting here next to an old 720p TV on the floor next to me.
I'm surrounded by monitors.
Sling TV. You remember them? Actually, no. A lot of people still love Sling. Sling is doing their free service that the Sling TV's free tier, where they've been offering a bunch of different free content for you to see and watch. It looks like Sling is now adding the ABC News Live app and series to it as well. So yet another thing you can get for free if you use the free Sling app.
Yeah, I'm as established. I'm a fan of free stuff. So even though I'll likely never use this, I'm glad it's out there. This will show up on Roku, Amazon, and Android streaming devices. So pretty much they're covering the gamut.
Yeah, so I decided, hey, this free news thing. I can't remember if it was ABC or one of the other ones, but I did actually decide, hey, let's try it out, and I turned it on, and it's your canned news feed, which is fine. It's got ads built into it, which is also fine. It was fine for free for the $0 I paid to watch it. There was no problem with it. So you could do just as bad or worse elsewhere easily. So I'd say more of this. This is all good. Stuff should be free. Ads are good for free things. I'm all for it. All right. YouTube Kids. Yes. We don't care. Okay.
YouTube my kids are too old.
My son was the perfect age for YouTube Kids. We decided early on that actually we're not really certain they've got it figured out, because a lot of stuff was getting up through that was questionable, and later on we decided that we just kind of have to ban YouTube from the house because he would just watch it constantly. So YouTube is blocked in our house. That being said, YouTube Kids has come a long way from their original incarnation. They've got a bunch of new interfaces available and different apps on the various TVs. One of the things they've decided that we're going to bring it to was the Fire TV. This is an announcement that they made back in 2019 when Google and Amazon decided to, bury the hatchet, so to say, and stop trying to cut each other's throats over their various streaming apps. But it hasn't come to it yet. And one of the reasons that people think it hasn't come to yet is because YouTube for Kids was the victim of the COPA lawsuits from the government, and they've been having to do a lot of different things to prepare for it. And so there's a good belief that it's going to be coming sometime this year, in year 2020. But it's not going to happen until they basically figure out how to correctly implement this with how the current law is.
I can speak directly to some of the steps or the measures that YouTube has taken in this regard, because they have added mandatory settings to your channel that you have to select. Number one, is this suitable, or is this made for children? Not can children watch it. Is this specifically made for children?
Right.
And so I had to go in on all of my channels and go in and set it and go back retroactively through a lot of our old videos,
right,
and make sure they were set accordingly as well.
I imagine for our content, I would say it's made by children,
but it's not made for children.
But it's not made for children.
I have opted to leave the age restriction off.
Yeah,
because I would like to think I would like this channel to be accessible by all ages. Hence the vulgarity filters in the chat and blah blah blah.
Agreed.
when mods aren't uh,
No, this,
circumventing that. But yes, but no, you have to actually go in and uh, they've drawn a hard line. And
I
if
believe
you
they were
don't
made to
set
draw
those,
that line.
well, exactly. And
Right.
in response, uh, so this way uh, they can better target and say, okay, these ones are made specifically for kids. These ones are not. Do not include them in YouTube Kids. Is there going to be some people out there nefarious that check that as made for kids and it's like nude model drawing class? That is an actual channel out there that surprised me uh, when I stumbled across it. But because it's protected because it's art. So yes,
Exactly.
there are naked
And
people on YouTube. But yeah,
but it's not for kids.
someone all they got to do is go in there and check this is for kids, and it theoretically could show up.
Yeah.
What is the penalty? What are the ramifications for the channel? I don't know. I assume that channel would get at least
Banned.
banned. Uh,
Yeah.
so don't do that, especially if you value your channel. But I'm sure if someone was going to do that, they're not doing. They don't care about the channel.
No, of
You know.
course not.
All right.
Hey, I know you're excited about this next story. Guess what? You can now purchase the new Google ADT3 streaming dongle. It's available from a company called ASCII. Never really heard of ASCII. It is 79.99, and it is not a quote unquote reference design, but an example.
So
Of
this is the developer model.
Right.
Hence the name ADT. It's the uh, this is the one that I signed up for. I requested, but they didn't let me into the developer beta this time, so I didn't get one. But this is essentially the next generation of Android TV.
Yep.
So I definitely want to get my hands on it. This is the one that should be getting Stadia. And that was one of the things they were talking about before they said that they were gonna make it available on Android TV.
Mhm.
That was one of the things they touted about this was that it would be Stadia, or either ready or already have it. But yes, I want to get my hands on this.
Okay. Well, it's only going to cost you $79.
I mean, that's fine.
Okay. Hey, it looks like it's a halfway decent box too. This little developer
Mm-hmm.
box. It's got a quad core processor. It's got what, 2 gigs of RAM. Really, only two still.
I see, and that's the thing that disappoints me. It's number one, it's still only 2 gigs of RAM, which okay, most of the mobile stuff isn't really that memory intensive, so I can get by on that. But
Right.
it's
It's
the only 8 gigs of internal storage. That's the thing that with my Android TVs, I kept running into problems.
yeah.
Is you can't, even though Android allows you to move stuff onto the SD, Android TV doesn't actually recognize that it's no longer on the main, and it'll tell you that the drive's full.
Right.
And it's been a problem, and they just need a bigger, especially like if you're, I was playing like Asphalt 8 on my Android TV, and that took up basically 4 gigs of space, and so it was a problem. And but I mean, it played awesome, but it took up all the space on the Android TV. So seriously, memories or SSDs are cheap.
Yes, they are.
So I mean, I can get a 1 terabyte M2, the super fast one, whatever it's called, I can never remember, for like $100. So we should be able to
Yep.
get at least 20 gigs of storage.
Yeah. It's not very expensive for them, especially at their internal memory. It's usually the what is it, the ESSDs, which is the slower but more robust SSD format.
But then that's my
cheap.
point. There is
It's super
no
cheap.
legitimate reason that we should be
Right.
restricted to 8 gigs.
Yeah. Hopefully the real ones don't have that problem.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of streaming and streaming games, which you were talking
Mm-hmm.
about, NVIDIA's game streaming service, which is called, what is it? What is it called? It is
GeForce Now.
GeForce, NVIDIA GeForce Now. It is. It's not what they call it. It is called
Yeah.
GeForce Now. All right. It's launched. This is the thing that they actually started back when the original. Their original Android TV came out, which was their the NVIDIA box.
The Shield.
And the Shield, yeah. Sorry, my brain just lost the ability to say any proper nouns. So that was about 8 years ago, I believe, when that originally launched.
Yeah.
So
this has, I mean, for those of you that are saying, wait, GeForce Now is already a thing. Yes, but it has been in beta for the last 7 years. It is finally out of beta. It is full release. This is big.
And it's free. Well, sort of. There's a free tier and there's a currently $5 a month tier. They note, by the way, NVIDIA notes that that's an introductory price. Price is going to go up.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, they want you to know that, because if you think it's going to be $5 a month for the rest of your life, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Anyways, it is not a style of streaming service where you go online and stream specific games that are available on that service. It is more like you get online and are able to play any game that you own that you can install onto via downloading it through some type of account through a store. It's compatible with Valve Store,
Epic,
with Steam, with Epic, with Blizzard games. In fact, yesterday I decided to try it out. I went ahead and said, all right, turn it on and to bring up World of Warcraft. Let's bring up my mage and see what this looks like. I don't know how Stadia looks, but this looked like crap on my computer. It was so horrible. I mean, I couldn't believe. I mean, so basically, you know how if you get the really bad compression on some feeds.
It's all blocky and.
So you got the Moray blocks where things are kind of muddy, but I think they halved the resolution for my screen too. I mean, literally everything was fuzzed out. I tried it about 8 o'clock at night on that night for about 10 minutes to see what it looked like. It kept on complaining, your connection is slow. You may have poor experience with it. And it's just popping up. And my previous attempts at using the GeForce Now, using the Shield, had similar problems where it kept on saying, you don't have a very good connection. But I have a gigabit internet through Comcast. So I don't understand what this is all about to me.
That could be because even though you have gigabit, what they'll advertise, and a lot of ISPs will do this, where they will give you, but it's burst, which means because they're expecting that you're going to load a website and you're going to be there. So they give you a quick burst up. You got to find out what your actual stable throughput is. Because it may be significantly lower than you think. But that being said,
they want like 25 megabits sustained to have good feeds on this, and I'm sure I can get that. I'm sure I've downloaded big old ISOs that are that big. Yes, Linux ISOs. I actually downloaded Linux ISOs. You silly people. To get the good speed.
But and as Wabbit points out, the beta had a 4-hour limit. So for those of you that were beta, congratulations. If you enjoy using this, I'm guessing that limit is gone now that they're in full release.
Actually, there's still limits. If you have a free account, they will likely kick you off after an hour of play.
Really?
Yes. If you pay the $5 a month, you get kicked in line, closer in line in any queues, so you have less time to wait for an available virtual machine. Yes, that's how it's going to work. And also, they're limiting you to 6 hours. So they say after 6 hours, take a bio break.
But how long are you basically banned?
Oh,
Like,
that is excellent question. I believe you just log off and log back in, and you get
oh,
back into the
I mean,
queue,
that's
kind of thing.
annoying, but I mean, sure. I mean, 6 hours is technically reasonable if you look at it with logic, but
Right?
screw logic. I just want to be like,
Yeah.
rage. How
Video
dare
gamer,
you
video
take
gamers
my
aren't
money
don't use
and tell
logic.
me how much I'm allowed to play?
Hmm. All I gotta say is that my limited experience with it has not been good. I will try it again with the free account for a little while longer. Um, we'll see. I mean, I was happy that it would let me play World of Warcraft on a machine just to see how it would work. I
Yeah,
was like,
and in your case, if you can't get good results, it wouldn't make
right,
a lot of sense to
no,
pay for it.
no. But this is exactly so. I'm curious. I want to see. I want the showdown of all these various streaming services and see what they're good for and what they're not. I think this is an interesting attempt by Nvidia. I'm curious how well it's going to compare to Stadia and Project X Cloud. Don't know.
Wabbit does say if you have a 10-year-old PC and you want to play a modern game, this is the way you do it.
That's true.
Because
Or
that's, I mean,
actually,
because what, and I assume that's why Wabbit's been using this.
or if you have a Mac,
So you
it's
can
excellent
finally
way.
game on a Mac.
Exactly. That's actually, that's a valid use for this. I would say, or if you are always traveling with a really low end laptop that's in order to be inexpensive, if your machine is not designed for gaming but you want to play some of these games, this is a good opportunity for you to do it as long as you got the bandwidth.
Yep.
That's actually pretty cool.
So I heard something about you can star in your own TV show. Is that
Well,
like what we're doing right now?
yes, what you do is you get a camera like this one here, you
Okay.
point it at yourself, you
Okay.
put yourself on Twitch, or actually, no, that's not what they want you to do.
Oh.
Actually, what they're asking you to do is to go ahead and use a Bitmoji. Do you know what a Bitmoji is?
Those are those things that people made on Facebook and then they like disappeared, and I'm always surprised when they pop up.
Well, they're back, I guess. It's the Bitmojis are those. Hey, I'm trying to make
A cartoon
emoji
version of
icon person
myself.
who's
Yeah.
exactly is capable of doing the various emoji emotes. Uh, they now have Bitmoji TV. This is a series of shows starring you and people in your contacts of doing various things. These shorts are just a few minutes long, and there's new ones released every week or so where they can then show you these funny things that are happening in the world based on your Bitmoji and the people you know. The example given is of was you being able to go up to a style of show where you're trying to do something like X Factor, and they ask you to do your best expression of the emoji, whatever, and the crowd goes wild.
Okay.
So if you always wanted to see what kind of crazy antics your cartoon version of yourself could ever get into, you can go check out these Bitmoji
So
TV.
do you have to like manually animate it, or
No,
does
as
it
far as
just randomly do stuff?
no, these are like somebody scripted this, but instead of knowing exactly what you're going to look like, they just say main character's you, second character is somebody
So
over
you're,
here.
you're basically using a canned scene
Yes,
with
but
your
with yours and your
insert your
contacts
image. Okay.
and your contacts images as well,
Okay. All right.
which is
Well, that's cool.
it could be hilarious.
It could
And
be. I'm
I
sure somebody's gonna find a really funny way to misuse this.
oh yeah, get some famous people in there, get some political actors in there. Oh yeah, this could be bad fast. I know it. Hey, did you know this weekend there was a big football game?
Um, was there? I heard there was,
Yeah,
but
where
then
did it?
I clicked on it on YouTube TV, and there was some lady doing a belly dance and some guy yelling, screaming at her in Spanish, and I didn't know what was going on, so I turned it back off.
Okay, was that the blonde or the brunette? All right. So no, the big game, the big Super Bowl game was this weekend. A lot of people were able to watch it just fine,
Mhm.
especially people who wanted to watch it on their free Fox apps on their Roku's. But that wasn't always going to be the case. Last Friday or Thursday or something like that, Roku came out and said, "Just so you know, we just ran out of our agreement with Fox TV. They're not, so we're not going to be able to have those apps working on the Roku platform. It'd be nice if we could get a new agreement." At which point, Fox basically, a lot of their shows actually were like saying, "Boycott Roku," and no, these evil guys are just trying to use this in order to get you to, this is a really bad ploy to get better rates. And then late Friday night, they figured it out, and all was well in the world.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure you knew that happened.
Okay.
I'm sure there's more interesting stuff that actually happened in the background. Who actually broke first? Who decided to pay money? Who got the better end of this deal? I don't know. None of us will really know unless somebody else tells us.
All I
But
know is
something
what
happened.
little I saw of that guy yelling at the lady in Spanish. It looked really good on
Oh yeah.
YouTube TV.
Oh yeah. Yes, you could actually still watch for free on Roku. Roku pointed out you can, if you really want to watch the game, just load up the NFL app. They still show the game for free.
Yeah.
You'd had other options.
Oh yeah. I mean, the only one that would be out is
The Fox
is
apps.
Fox themselves.
Right. Which is funny because, well, not funny. It's interesting because Fox is the company who is actually doing the broadcast.
Well, exactly. And that's what I was saying is because, they would prefer to have you watch their broadcast on their app.
Right.
But, there's other ways. And yeah, I mean, they're still getting paid if you watch it through YouTube TV or Sling TV or whatever gives you Fox in real time. Then, yeah, word. So I'm glad they got it figured out.
Very, very cool. Hey, so I don't usually say this, but this is a cool new feature available on Amazon Echo devices.
Wait, what?
I know, it's so weird of me. Anyways, Echo devices have the ability for you to go ahead and go up to the device and say, "Hey, scan this barcode for me." At which point it turns on the camera and is able to scan a barcode of an item that you have and add that item to a list, like a grocery list. So you can say, "I need more of insert this thing that's got a barcode on it," and it's able to scan it and add it to a list. It also will help you buy it through Amazon's own ecosystem if you wish to.
Oh, of course.
And there's the rub, which makes me feel kind of dirty inside.
Oh, okay. I guess.
I actually like the feature idea.
I mean, why do you need to carry it over across the room to the Echo Show when most people already have a barcode scanner that's capable of doing this in their pocket anyway?
True, but people don't think about that. They think about this fancy screen that's shown here. Also, when you're in the kitchen and like, I need another one of these cans of tomatoes.
Yeah,
and you're just able to scan it like that and send that list off.
Because I'm pretty sure all Android and probably iPhones can read barcodes just in the camera.
That's true.
So yeah, you just pick it up, and it's a lot easier to aim it when you're like this instead of trying to. Like when I had to go do my drug test the other day. The paperwork that I took in, the lady had to scan it into an iPad, and she was doing this because you can't see, because the paper is covering up the iPad, and she can't see, and it's like, that's stupid, And she was doing exactly what they want you to do on the Echo Show. So,
Jackie, it's Teflon tape. It's not what you thought it was.
It was the sticker that ultimately went on that cup, yes. While it was still attached to the paperwork.
Teflon tape isn't sticky. Come on, you know that.
No, she was talking to me because I was at the drug test.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought she was talking to me about what I showed on my screen. No, sorry for the confusion. Hey, if you have the Overcast app and you like using it to listen to your podcasts, it's got a new feature. Overcast app is a podcast listening app that's exclusive to the Apple devices. I don't think it's available on the Android system, any of the Android systems. I could check for that. But it has a new feature which allows you to customize each of your podcasts and put in it to skip certain number of seconds at the beginning and or end of the podcast. Maybe you always know it has a certain song or certain intro at the beginning that you just don't need to listen to. And you can just go ahead and say, hey, on this podcast, skip 30 seconds or whatever amount of time you wish to. Cool new feature. I don't think I'd use it because most of my podcasts don't really have intros or exits. And I can exit by skipping to the next song.
Well,
So cool.
I'm kind I can see where this can be handy.
Yeah.
If you listen to Gilbert Godfrey's Amazing Colossal podcast, you can't really skip over the opening because during the opening music is when he does the intro of the person that's on there, which most of the time is the funniest part of the show because he can't seem to get through a list without getting sidetracked. But the feature though that is I think intriguing to me is the much improved voice boosting, because there's a lot of podcasts that I listen to that are recorded way too quiet. And it drives me nuts because you have to crank the radio all the way up to be able to hear it at a good listening volume.
And
but then Android Auto sends me alerts or starts talking to me, and it's screaming at me because
you have a text from
but
actually I agree. There are some podcasts where some of the people are talking well into the mic, and then you have some people on the podcast that are talking like this, and it's like, I can hear you, but I can barely hear you. And then the one guy comes in, oh yeah, we're talking like this. Oh yeah, that's really important. This is a really good point. Yeah, I thought it was a good point, didn't you? Yeah, I think we should do this. I think I agree. We should do that. It's like that. I would love it if they could equalize that. That'd be great.
And Riding Long points out that Pocket Cast had that for years. And it works well until your favorite podcast couldn't line up an intro commercial that week. So then you end up skipping stuff that isn't there. Right. And see, and that's why I like, the app I've been using since it was my first podcast app. I keep going back to it. It's got a 30-second forward and 10-second back.
Most of them do, don't they?
So I just tap it a couple times. I come up to a thing and it's tap it a couple times and I'm good.
Right.
More precise. So
indeed.
Cool.
Hey, YouTube Premium and Music and also YouTube TV, all three of those came out with some numbers for us to Google over, not Google over. That's a whole nother thing. It looks like the YouTube Premium and the YouTube Music have a combined of 20 million subscribers as of the fourth quarter of 2019. That's pretty decent numbers, if you ask me. I don't remember. I wonder how many users that are still using the old Google Music are still out there.
AT&T lost twice that many subscribers last year. So.
Oh yeah.
So they got half of them.
That's possible. Also, they here is YouTube TV service numbers. Last time we heard about YouTube TV service numbers, it was less than 1 million, and that was maybe 3 months ago. They officially announced that they have about 2 million subscribers now as the end of 2019, which is a pretty good jump for them. Still less than Hulu Live at 2.7 million or Sling at 2.6 million. But that's a pretty big jump, and I would also guess this is due to the demise of PlayStation Vue. So real numbers about real people joining and how many people are on these things, and cord cutting is a real thing, people.
Absolutely.
I agree. Hey, if you use YouTube and you like the old interface, got some bad news for you. The classic interface for YouTube on the web is going to be disappearing. It looks like they are going to be making it so you are going to have to be using the new interface in March.
I mean, is anyone still using it? Because they basically forced everybody to switch it over like a year ago. So
I
I
actually don't
assume
remember.
everybody.
I'm assuming I'm using the new interface
Oh,
because
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
know I am. And you can tell because if you click on your name and you want to switch between multiple accounts, it is now a nightmare. It used to be just listed your multiple accounts. You just click on the one that you want to switch to. Now you have to go down, switch accounts, wait for it to load another window, and then you choose the account. And then I hate it. But yes, it's been like that for over a year because I got tired of either them auto switching me or
Mm,
constantly berating me saying, "Hey, the new thing's available. Switch now. Switch now. Switch now. Switch now." Finally, I just fine,
fine.
just get it done.
Right.
Um,
Agreed.
the worst was when I had switched over to the new UI
Hmm.
or new, and then they still kept telling me switch. Just I already did. Leave me
Yeah,
alone.
you have a cookie somewhere that's not sticking, so
Yeah,
it still thinks you need to do it. So yeah,
but all right.
damn you cookies! All
Yeah,
right,
for the like 10 of you out there that somehow missed it, it's just going to look weird the next time you log in.
yep, that's right. Hey, Disney Plus has numbers for us too. It already has 28.6 million subscribers. That is a huge number of people who signed up for Disney Plus. ESPN has 6.6 million subscribers. That's a huge jump from the 1.4 million they had last year. Hulu now has 30 million subscribers. They got 3.2 million of them to sign up for live TV services.
So,
Uh,
oh, good. Continue.
No, I was going to say is that this is a good sign for them and their very huge number of people who are on there. There's still not close to anything to like Netflix numbers, but
What I
amazing.
was going to say is the numbers I believe are suspect, especially for ESPN. Yes, they've got 6 million subscribers, but how many of those people are actually subscribing for ESPN? Or are they like me that in order to get the $5, because I'm a Hulu subscriber already, get the
Hmm.
$5 add on includes ESPN? So I will never open that app, but I am technically ESPN, one of those 6 million subscribers. So, yeah. I mean, but that's the beauty of bundled packages. Then they get to say, hey, we've got this many whatevers for this thing, even though
Right.
nobody's actually using it. I
Doesn't
mean,
matter.
there are people that are using it, but how
Right.
many? That's what I want to know. How many people are actually using it?
Don't know. All I gotta say is that's pretty big numbers. I still don't know the numbers for Apple TV. And as I said before, if Apple TV numbers are bigger than Disney Plus numbers, the cult of Apple is real, and I have everything to fear in my life. So just saying, want to know. I want to know if the cult of Apple is real or not. Hey, so a guy took the really old footage of a train coming towards the camera. Remember that old footage, black and white?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's old. That very old footage. The guy took that footage from 1896, and he convinced the computer, because computers need convincing, to figure out how to upscale the image.
Hmm.
It basically trained it using AI exactly how to redraw the image at a higher resolutions, up until they were able to get the film all the way up to 4K in color and at 60 frames a second.
That's really
And
cool.
it's actually a pretty cool use of AI training to train something to how to correctly do things. It was able to do extremely high detail based on the training of okay, when you see this kind of a thing, here's how to draw it. And yep, this is the train that I believe this is the train that basically scared people in the theaters thinking they were going to get hit.
You know what this means?
What?
We're getting another round of World War II video.
Ah.
Because every time they can, Like just not too long ago, they colorized all of it using
Right.
computers.
World
And
War
so,
II in color.
yeah,
I remember
exactly.
seeing
Now
those
we're going to get World War II in
in 4K.
4K. And then, yeah, this is cool. There's a lot of stuff out there that I think would benefit. I just hope they use it responsibly, because I would hate to have them go through and do this to like the silent movies that are perfect the way they are. Don't touch
Right.
it. Leave it alone. We don't need another fiasco like when they decided to rescore Metropolis back in the 80s, and then they used like Queen and Pat Benatar as the background music, and it's just ridiculous and it's stupid and it should never have been done. Just leave it alone. That's all I have to say. Just
Oh, come on. Routing Rock says, why stop at 4K? We can upscale to infinity now. Oh man, just imagine the fractals.
well, no, because if they go
created.
straight to infinity now, they won't have a way to monetize it in the future. So that's why they
That's
go to
true.
4K, or they'll probably go to 1080 first, and then
Right.
a couple years later they'll reissue it in
The
4K,
4K, the
and then a few years
6K, the
later they'll do
8K,
that 8K, and then the
yeah,
whatever.
16K, whatever it comes after that.
Yeah, you don't want to blow your load all at once.
That's true. All right. So Spotify, speaking of numbers, Spotify has come in with the biggest numbers of all. Spotify came out with numbers a lot this year, saying that they were able to come home with over 100 million subscribers. And one of the reasons why they're able to get this many subscribers is because they're basically buying up all the podcast networks. This is a pretty amazing thing for them. They are now the podcast king. If you want to listen to all the podcasts, this may be the only place you can get it.
They're trying to be the Clear Channel of podcasting.
Right. Unfortunately, I don't think I would be interested in a podcast I could only watch or listen through a single interface. I'm not a Spotify user, so.
And I've talked about this before, that I am a very heavy Spotify user, but I don't want podcasts in there.
Right.
It's totally messed up the interface that I liked for music.
Oh.
It's now cluttered. And then also, they don't give you their podcast player doesn't give you the ability to import like RSS feeds manually. So all of my Patreon feeds would be completely useless, even if I could get those shows through Spotify to begin with. So no, I'm very against Spotify having the podcast in the player. If they want to do podcasts, I believe in segregation in that. I mean, go ahead and clip that. Somebody's gonna. But in this case, it should be segregated.
Okay. No, podcasts should be free.
Yeah, absolutely. But the two should be segregated, the music and the podcasts.
Okay.
Separate but equal.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's interesting because this is going to be happening more and more as Spotify is probably going to continue to, once they start down this path, they're going to keep on going. They own what they purchased and now own Gimlet, Parcast, and The Ringer. All three podcast networks I am actually unaware of in any way, shape, or form, but apparently they're big things and the big deals in the podcast space. So, who knows who they buy next? Be really interesting. Well, Earwolf or somebody like that, is going to go to this. It's going to be sad. I hope it doesn't happen. So.
Earwolf sounds like a terrible, scary affliction. I'm sorry, but your son has a case of Earwolf.
Well, yeah, I believe they're making the Earwolf makes a play off of Airwolf, if you remember that show.
Oh yeah, I love that song. I was never really big into the show, but I absolutely loved the theme song. So yeah, I don't know. It's a plan or a play off of Earworm, I think.
Right.
Because
maybe
wolves are cooler than worms. But start a you can determine, because we're on the internet, there's the whole pirate versus ninja thing. Choose your
Yeah.
side and then do ear pirate or ear ninja, or
Oh,
your earwolf competitor.
okay.
Or earwolf, would the competitor be a vampire? Because
I don't know.
lycans versus vampires, they're like mortal enemies,
Yeah.
according to like the underworld
Many of various
movies.
different
Yeah.
fictions on the subject.
All right. So is that it?
That is the end of our news for this week. That was plenty of news too. So,
All right. Well, this is the point where in the show where we like to thank those of you that support our podcast, even though we don't have an RSS feed at the moment. We did, but you actually have to have audio content to utilize the RSS feed. But if you become a patron, you get an RSS feed, and hopefully soon in the near future, that will start actually giving you stuff. But in the meantime, thank you for supporting us. Even if we haven't sent you a bill, someday you may receive another bill.
oh,
But in the meantime, we appreciate you guys for sticking with us through all this time, and you are the reason that we keep doing this. And as long as you guys are around, we'll continue. If you're not currently supporting us and you would like to, that is patreon.com/the VOD Squad. And yeah, enough said, I think.
absolutely.
All right. We would normally throw this over to the big voice Jay, but nothing has changed. So surprisingly,
you're still in the lead. Movie Party still in the lead with $576 million. Game Night is creeping up slowly with their Star Wars movie, though. They could possibly make the extra money needed. They need $9 million at this point. The question is, they have until next Friday.
Yeah, they have. I don't think they're going to do it based on the returns. Plus, I'm still making money. So my yes, right now at the moment it's $9 million to catch me, right? But I'm a moving target, so I may not be making as much as them. But the question is, can I make enough to outpace them? I am absolutely confident that by next Friday, they will have passed Game Night. Sorry, Will, for second place. But I'm starting to believe that it's safe to. I'm starting to feel like it's finally safe to believe I might make it in first.
I think you are not. You can officially call it that you are, if not first, definitely first or second.
I'm definitely second. But the fact that I kept this whole season, I kept discounting the fact that there was even a possibility that I would be first. I figured I would always be either at least second, if not third. But this will make the first 3-time champion in our league.
Oh, geez, man, you gotta. It's sad. I'm sorry. All right, which is interesting because I'm looking at the numbers, and really, everybody did okay. In fact, I'm looking at everybody's. We have 4 teams with $5.5 billion or $5.5 billion,
evenly spread out.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing spread in cash, quite frankly.
As if you look at the Blue League, it's very
DKG
uneven.
Just won that. What did DKJ end up with? Let me look
they
that
had
up.
Joker, Maleficent, Ford versus Ferrari, 21 Bridges, Quinn and Slim, and Bad Boys for Life.
Wow, they actually had a very good slate. Good job for them.
But they had most what you had in Joker and Maleficent.
Right.
But they also had Ford versus Fieri, which Game Night got.
Right.
So, yeah, if you guys had gotten Ford versus Fieri,
they
could have won it.
Okay, so take out Jexy. which doesn't make us lose much. Give us Ford versus Ferrari, or give us Bad Boys for Life,
Well, I think
or
it's a combination of the two, Ford versus Fieri and Bad Boys for Life, because that's
right.
nearly
Would have been much
nearly
closer.
300 million.
We probably would have won it at
Yep.
that. Actually, just that one day, we would have been enough. Shoot, that would have been good. Oh well, that's not how the cookie crumbled today. So
I will say I am glad that Jojo Rabbit managed to get close to 30 million.
yes,
It
indeed, I
wasn't a it didn't end up being a
smash it.
El Royale like last year, which was an awesome movie. That it was a great movie. It deserved a lot of money, and it got like 7 million.
Right.
But at least it's not Playmobil with
Nope.
1 million. 1 million.
You
See,
know,
Playmobil makes every one of the terrible movies over the last 3 seasons look good.
I know. There have been other movies that have done poorly like that, but usually because they didn't come out to too many theaters. How many theaters did Playmobil come out to? Let's just
All
really
of
quick
them.
look there. It came out to for the first week. I'll bring it up here real quick. Playmobil, if I can find it. Playmobil, there, the movie. Yes, redirect me, please.
All of them.
It came out to 2,337 theaters on the first week,
So all of them.
which is about half of them. Really, 5,000 theaters is about all of them. So it's if you came out to 5,000 theaters, that basically means multiple screenings at most theaters.
Mhm.
So this was basically there was a showing at every theater, pretty much.
As
And
we talked about last week, Bad Weave is adamant that Playmobil doesn't deserve $1 million. But let me remind you, they spent 40 million to make it.
uh,
That studio
STX.
they got penalized hard for their atrocity. So yes.
Yep. All right. Amazing.
All right. Well, should we move on to some rants and some raves?
I guess.
Sounds so excited.
I guess.
All right. What you got?
So this weekend I had family over to celebrate birthdays. We always have one weekend of the year where all of the January birthdays are basically celebrated together. So did a lot of family stuff during the weekend, but my wife and I did manage to sit down and watch now on Disney Plus both the most recent live action remakes that they did. First being The Lion King, which apparently just recently released, and Aladdin. I liked Aladdin more than I thought I would. It was funny. Will Smith didn't creep me out. He was just fine. I mean, I agree. It was a little weird with that first original when they originally did their whole their trailer. That first trailer was creepy and very weird. But actually, the movie he was just fine in the movie. There was nothing wrong with it. And The Lion King, all those CGI animals had dead eyes.
That's what I heard.
It was so bad. I mean, there are some times where it's like, okay, finally, I see a little life here, but most of the time, you had these. I mean, the uncanny the uncanny valley was there, man, and I could see it. It was horrible. It was kind of scary. This is why live action works with live action people. Just saying. It was fine otherwise. It was The Lion King. What do you expect? But yeah, I think I liked Aladdin better, which actually I didn't. I thought I would go the other way around there. Just saying.
Right.
How about you? Anything happening with you?
Well, I'll let you guys decide if it's a rant or a rave. A couple days ago, I received a summons.
Oh no, are you going to court?
Well, I've been ordered to appear.
Oh man, I hate it when this happens.
On Cord Killers.
Oh,
this Monday. So I will be guesting on Cord Killers Monday. I thank you, Wonk. And I will say thank you to Jackie for her tenacity and perseverance, because ever since the beginning, I've just been like, whatever. But she fought to make it happen.
Very cool.
So, yes, I assume most people pay attention to Cord Killers, but, if you're going to watch live, this is the week. I need the cheerleading section in chat.
Okay.
But
hey,
otherwise,
if I can, I'll be there in chat.
Absolutely.
Since I can't be there in person, it's all right.
Next, I got my foot in the door.
Nah,
we can say as seen on Cord Killers.
That's fine.
In regards to our show, which then,
You know what? I have no problem being like an emergency fill-in.
Oh, Wabbit, I will. I can't help it.
Yeah, Clyde. Oh, Dad, no. You gotta be on your best behavior, man.
This isn't mixtape or RMP.
You gotta be witty. You gotta be nice. You gotta, go with the jokes. You gotta let.
Jackie, I think you need to book somebody else.
I know. It's the problem.
No, so yeah, Jackie, I appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah,
it's very cool, man. I think it's really awesome, actually. Very cool.
And yeah, so Monday 6 p.m. Central, wherever I've never watched Cord Killers live because I'm never home. I always listen to the feed, so I don't even know. Are they still on DCTV or?
I think they're still on DCTV and on Twitch at the same time.
Oh, okay. They are using Twitch Night Attack. Okay, cool. Okay. I wasn't sure. Because I know they're still using the IRC chat, aren't they? For Cord Killers? But
I don't know. All I know is that I will see if I could show up.
Sorry, because DTNS still uses IRC because they do YouTube Live. That's what I'm thinking of. So never mind. So, yep. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for supporting us, because you guys are the reason I'll have this opportunity, because you guys have been supporting us all this time, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. So, all right, we should probably just go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Matt, thanks for joining me, as always. I appreciate that, and we will be back next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central. If you are watching this live, we do this every Wednesday night here on Twitch. Come join us. You get to participate in the chat. You get to submit titles that we are going to vote on now here in the post show. Head on over to tvs.showbot.tv and we will get to those. Thanks, everybody. We will catch you next time. Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.